What's up, you? Thank you for clicking on this video. If you're watching a replay, especially if you're watching a replay, if you don't know by now, what we do here is just really just hang out, have conversations. It's always unscripted, of course, impromptu or random. And we get into whatever people want to get into. Today I had an idea to switch it up just a bit because somebody that I was speaking to in the comments under one of my last videos, they said something about good news. Like people get so worried about what's going on in the world these days that they really maybe look for me to share some good news or something that's uplifting. And so I was like, you know what? That's a great idea. I'll start sharing like good news on the live since I do these almost every other day. And then that expanded to even a broader idea where I do like, I'll put like 3 coffee cups on a table in front of me. And in one of the coffee cups, there'll be like little bits of good news. And another coffee cup, there'll be like Japanese that I think we all should know. It's just a random idea. And the other cup would be something like, I don't know, random comments that I felt like we should talk about. Something like that. I thought that would be, it's a nice visual. It makes the person who's clicking into the video think like, oh, what's going on here? I'm curious, I'm interested, and maybe they'll stay longer. It's just an idea. All that to say, when I came home an hour ago from work to decompress, I started scrambling because I didn't stock up on good news articles. I have a few. That's all I have. It's just good news articles in this cup. I couldn't find the channel that I follow that teaches like really cool Japanese phrases because if you don't know me, you don't probably know that I love anime and the Japanese culture so much, but I do love it so much, in fact, that I want people to be more interested in it, and I love the phonics, the phonetics of Japanese, their language. So I was like, wouldn't it be cool to share my love of just Japanese culture with people? And so I couldn't find the channel, but I will work on it. In the next live in a couple of days, we'll go over that. And yeah, also didn't take the time to write down comments that I've been getting of people who've been watching the replays on the videos that I felt like should be responded to like publicly. So also that being said, like do know, like if you feel called to comment, I may pick up your comment and use it on another live to like go through sort of the thinking, I guess, behind the comment that you may have left. And I do respond to every comment that I get. And yeah, so oftentimes I feel like I should talk about them more. Like they need more elaboration because I have a few of those, but didn't get to it. But we do have good news. So if anybody wants, oh, I guess I should have told you this too. I think like it would be cool to incentivize the like going in the cups and like taking out things, the mystery surprise cups, and maybe you could like, I don't really know the dynamics of how the YouTube live works, but I know there's like gifts or like thanks or something, like just how like people are hitting the emoticons. Like there's also a way you can like spend like 5 cents or 10 cents, and if you do that and then you comment, it'll show that you did that, and then you can tell me which cup you want me to go into. All right, so we covered that. Let me go into my my chat and see who's in the house today. Happy Feet, of course. What up? What up, girl? Always good to see you. I will talk about work in a minute. Let me just get to these comments. Mrs. Colger, hey, good to see you. Always good to see you. Thank you again for that lovely gift that you sent. Really appreciate it. It makes it easier to do this. I'll say that. And Happy Feet says, good news is always good to hear. That's what I think. I love to hear good news. Like I love those things that you read on your phone and they just have you smiling at your phone, like man cheesy. We don't get that enough. So I would love to be the one to prolificate good news into the world. We need more of that. It's a genius idea. Thank you, Derek. What's up, by the way? Thank you for commenting on the post. I read that. And yeah, I'm happy that you have somebody to hold. Somebody to hold you and somebody that you can have and hold. That's another thing we should talk about it later. Somebody remind me the difference between having and holding, because that's in like the the fundamental wedding vows that people take. One of the vows is like to have and to hold and stuff like that, and people don't know the difference between having and holding. So we should definitely talk about that later. Um, and also, happy feet. I will talk about my first shift at the job today. Just bear with me. Let me get through the rest of these comments. I stopped watching the news due to them mostly showing things negative and fear marketing. Exactly. That's why I don't watch the news. I barely watch TV at all. If I do, it's like anime. But yeah, mainstream media has lost their minds. They're all about peddling fear. And there's a reason behind why they do that. I think they do that for the market and just for the market. Um, as we know, big banks, big banking, the money industry owns the news channels. So they dictate what we hear. And if it makes logical, reasonable sense to see how they're promoting whatever propaganda or narrative they want just to drive the market in whatever direction they want. Sometimes they want the market in extreme sell-offs. So, the indexes take a dive and then the rich people come in and they buy up the stocks and stuff like that. And then the price goes up and then that's how wealth generates itself. Tertiary finance is what it's called. That's another conversation we should have at some point about how capitalism feeds off of natural resources, and the more natural resources get depleted, the more capitalism kind of like implodes on itself. It's so backwards. Like, we could do so much better, but I don't know if we're gonna get into that conversation today. I probably need to do a little bit more research on that before I go into it at depth. Mrs. Colger said, my daughter taught herself Japanese. Say word. Japanese is so hard. Like, even Japanese people dedicate their life to studying kanji, which is the way Japanese is written. And I'm like, yo. So more power to your daughter, Mrs. Colger. But that says a lot about you too, that she even thought like, yo, I could teach myself. And once again, thank you for the the gift. I really appreciate that. Let me hit that heart and that like bow. Always coming through. Really appreciate that. For real, you don't know how much it means. Like, can't even begin to express. Virgo season is almost upon us. Yes, indeed, Johannes. I have a bunch of friends who've had birthdays within the last week, and they're Leos. So I guess if I look at my circumference of friends, a majority of my friends are Leos. I wonder what that means. Oh. HR asks, where am I from? I'm born and raised in New York, in a few different locations in like southeastern New York. But I've lived in Jacksonville in elementary school back in the early 90s, moved back to New York, and also lived in Suffolk County, Long Island for about 7 years. But most of my life, the longest I've ever stayed in one place was Yonkers, New York. That was 17 years. Detailed answer for you, my man. Jasmine says, I made it. Happy you made it. Thank you for being here. Miss Joyner, you already know. Deep bow. Faith, hey, Matt, are you good? You look like something is wrong. Do I? Do I? Maybe I'm just tired. But, life be lifing. So I'm definitely tired. A little sad before I started this, but like I said, I don't let my feelings and emotions get in the way of commitments. To me, showing up here every 2 days is a commitment for me. So thank you all for supporting and clicking on the video. Yeah, I'm not even gonna talk about why I'm sad, but It's there. So maybe you're sensing that. You have good intuition, Faith. Mrs. Koger said, keep shining. That's right. Johanna says, when will you visit New York? Ah, man. There's a funeral for my best friend who just made his transition. And I don't think that I'm going to be there to go, but ideally, if I could, I would go. But that said, as soon as I can go, I will be in New York because I miss it so much. So much. And that's going to lead me into what I'm going to talk about next, which was work. Because when I was at work today, all I could think about was New York for some reason. But yeah, I do miss New York, and I miss all of my family and my friends. Humble Lion. What's up, Humble Lion? Thank you for joining the live. What's up, bro? 757 in the house. What's 757? That's an area code? Where y'all at? Sounds like a West Coast area code. Nico says the eyes don't lie. I mean, I'm good, y'all. Like, for real. I'm just tired and a wee bit upset because while I was at work, my daughter called me and I pick up my phone every single time. As soon as I hit her, as soon as I look at my phone and I see it's her calling me, I'm like, yo. And it just makes my day. And I actually haven't talked to her in like 2 days, I want to say. So that's why I'm a little bit down. It's all good. 757 is Virginia. Oh, okay. I was way off. East Coast. Okay. 972 Dallas, Texas. What's up, Miss Joyner? Oh, man. I ain't spent enough time in Virginia. I love Virginia, though. Virginia is for lovers, is what they say. Your pleasure. Native New Yorker and a Virgo. Yeah, yeah. What part of New York are you from? Your pleasure. If you don't mind telling us. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You know, we all go through things. We all go through things and we work through them, you know? For real, for real. Like, emotions is just fodder for the mind. I don't know how I feel about that statement, but I'll think about it. I feel like it's a bar. I feel like it's a bar. Thank you for that. Thank you for appreciating the commitment. Yeah. If it's doable, I'm gonna be here. Like it's just really picking up the phone, making sure it has batteries, hitting the button, and letting the chips fall where they may. I'm not scared of it for sure. I'm not scared of showing up, showing my face. Even though YouTube seems to be punishing me for going live, that don't bother me none. It don't bother me none. I've complained about it for like the past 4 lives. I've mentioned how the people keep leaving for some reason since I started being consistent on the lives, and I'm at peace with it now. Like I told myself that those people who leave weren't here for me. They were here for who knows what they were here, but it wasn't for me because if they were here for me, they'd still be here, like you all are. So much love to you all. Like I keep telling y'all that, but for checking in on the lives, even if you come in and just say what up and then you dip, like that's fine. Anything but going to the subscribe button and saying I'm not following this guy anymore for whatever reason. Like I did nothing to you, fam. Be easy. If anything, I'm just here to uplift people, you know? Give people a safe space for community. God knows what's going down in these comments and the conversations that we've gotten into. Most of the time is deep, but we can also keep it light. Thank you, Miss Joyner. And one day, hopefully, the way things play, not even hopefully, because that signifies to the brain that there's hesitation or doubt. And I have no doubt or hesitation that we will take these lives into in real life situation one day. Even if I myself have to go like travel place to place to meet everybody, but yeah, community and bringing people together in real life is the ultimate goal. Humble Lion says, I haven't been to Brooklyn in years. Bed-Stuy. Yeah. That's where my family's from. The Stuy. Gun Clap Avenue is what they used to call it back in the day. Bed-Stuy is so different now. If you go to Brooklyn, it's so crazy how different it is, yo, compared to what it was in the 90s. I'm like, yo, who are these people? Where they come from? Brownstones are like brownstones. Every family used to have their own brownstone, and it was so dope to me. Now it's like apartments and Airbnbs and the brownstones. I'm like, yo, this is weird, man. But I haven't been back home in a minute, so interested to see how that comes out. Also, I need to call my cousins. Thank you for reminding me. Going to cast a replay starting dinner. Thank you for dropping by, Mrs. Koger. Fix it up nice. Fix it up nice, and make sure you say "itadakimasu" before you eat. Your daughter will tell you. What's up, Yvette? Thank you for coming through. Oh yeah, so I wanted to talk about how you were talking about New York, and well, somebody was talking about New York, and when I was at work just earlier, a couple hours earlier, I was thinking about New York a lot. For one reason was in New York, whenever you go into a restaurant, anybody who's been in New York knows when you go into the restaurant, they have the rating, like that the Board of Health rating right there, like by the front door. They don't do that in Florida. I just learned. And I'm a little upset about it. like, oh man, yo, I was like, yo, what is going on here, son? This is a crime against humanity. Like that being said, I probably won't ever mention online where I work at because I don't want no, I don't want no static. I'm just there to get my check. But definitely, I was like, this is what's happening here. Somebody needs to call. Somebody needs to call. It might even be me. Like I was like, yo, because this is atrocious. It was atrocious. Like I even had to talk. I had to tell like everybody who I was working with. I was like, does it normally look like this? And it was like, yeah. I was like, noted, noted. Another reason why I was thinking about New York. Oh, also, I want to ask you guys if anybody has had a synchronistic idiosyncrasy, synchronicity. If you know what that is, if you've had a moment of synchronicity in the past week, please put it in the chat. Let's talk about it. That's the first conversation I want to kind of get started on because I have something to share. Just yesterday, right? I'm working out at my workout area about a mile from here, and I don't know why, but I was thinking about where I used to work at, this restaurant called Diamond Vinny's in Yonkers. I worked there for like 10 years as a delivery driver. The very best Italian food you'll ever get in your life. Trust me when I tell you, there's nobody who does it better. If you're ever in Westchester County, Yonkers, New York, go to Diamond Vinny's on Sawmill River Road. Oh yeah, I was thinking about it because if you go down Sawmill River Road, hopefully homie is still alive, but there was this guy I would see every day. He walked like permanently at a 90-degree angle. Like he probably had some type of back spinal issue or something that he was always hunched all the way over. But my man will walk up and down Sawmill Parkway every single day just picking up trash. You would see him with trash bags, and that's what he did. And if y'all been watching my last few lives, I talk about the trash that I see on my way to my workout station and how I feel like I feel called to pick it up. And I was thinking about him. I started thinking about the restaurant, and I was like, damn, like when am I gonna get my schedule for, the place that I'm about to start working, which happened today, which is another idiosyncrasy. But the crazy shit that happened was I was thinking about the people that I worked with at that restaurant. And one of them was, I want to say he was Mexican. But his name is Tony. Very good dude. Very funny, like very chill, very relaxed. My guy, like we kicked it like all day, every day at work. That was my man's, right? So I'm coming home after the workout. I had stopped thinking about it already, but I was thinking about him and how everybody was doing, hoping everybody was in good health and whatnot. 1 hour later, who you think sent me a message on Facebook? I haven't talked to this man in like 4 years. What is that, fam? What is that? How does that happen? I haven't talked to this man in like 4 years. I was just thinking about him while I was doing my workout. It's gotta be something behind that. It needs to be studied. But yeah, I wanted to share that with y'all because the universe is crazy how that works. You really be thinking about people, and then they mess around and send you a message. So there's something going on here. There's more than meets the eye. As we already know, we only see like 5% of the electromagnetic spectrum or whatever. So there's something going on in the thought realm where if you hold a thought long enough and it's about an individual, that individual will pick up on that signal. And if they're open enough or if they're free enough, they will reach out. And it's just the wildest thing that's the illest shit that it's happened to me in like a week, maybe a month, maybe a year. Do y'all have any experiences like that? Let me check the chat. Let me check the chat. Okay, there goes Miss Vicky, about to go eat. Happy Feet says, so I have this tree in front of my house, and it got hit by lightning, and the tree is, I guess, dying because leaves no longer grow. But the bright side is that I put a bird feeder, and a hummingbird came through. Okay, we love a good hummingbird. Yeah, trees, even if they die, I mean, they might still be living underground. Some trees are very resilient and sentinel. Like even if their leaves and their foliage falls off, they'll still stand strong for hundreds of years. I love that about trees. I often go hug trees. Like we could talk all day about trees and the root system and the mycelium and all of that. Jesse, what's up, girl? You made it. Hey, that's my friend right there. Appreciate you, Jesse. The feeder on a tree, and I got to see all kinds of beautiful birds and hummingbirds. A hummingbird just flew up in my window and was literally in front of me. It just puts a smile on my face. Yo, if you know me, you know I love birds. I love the avian species, like especially birds that can fly. Not all birds can fly. Like I forget what bird. It looks like an ostrich, but it's really a raptor. Like it'll rip your guts out. I was just learning about it the other day. I think it's called like a mew or something like that. But birds, I mess with heavy, especially hawks. There's been a hawk in my life for like the past month. We like best friends now. They don't know it, but that's what I think. And I've been trying to get a crow friend. I've been trying to get crow friends since I moved out here because crows always hang around this area. And I feel like they know me at this point, but they won't like fly up and like land on my shoulder yet. I don't know what I gotta do. I take walnuts and I throw in walnuts to see if they would get closer. No luck yet, but I'm not gonna give up. Jesse says I got some spiritual stuff going on. There's always spiritual stuff going on, yo. Always, always. Right. And it is what we make it too. What up, Ashas? Nico, you put it out and he received it. Collective consciousness, you already know. But fam literally just hit me and was like, yo, you alright? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. How are you? Like, I was actually just thinking about you. It's crazy that you hit me. He was like, yeah, I'm good. And like, that was the end of the conversation. But it's so, if anything, that's the creator, the most high, the higher power, God, even if you want to, you know what I mean? That is that. That's exactly what that is. It's like, yeah, I'm here. You ain't, just so you don't forget, just know that I'm here and I'm watching and I'm listening to everything. As has says, there are simply things we just don't understand yet, and I accept it. I love those magical moments. Yeah, for real. For real, for real. Faith says that happens to me a lot with the same person. I pick up the phone to call them, and they call me vice versa. I love that y'all are open to that, and I hope y'all work on manifesting that too. Like, I used to have a friend like that. I would call them, and she would be like, "You heard?" And I was like, "Yeah, I did." Jack, what's good, Jack Marston? Thanks for popping in real quick. Feel free to hit that like button. Everybody in the chat, if you have not yet hit the like button, I really appreciate it. If you're watching this on replay, hit the like button and all of that good stuff. The mind is very powerful, very super duper powerful. Like we still not, we don't. Oh, but you know what's more powerful than the mind as far as like electromagnetism and an energy field? The heart. The mind reaches out like 10 or 15 feet. It can be measured by uh, some scientific tool. I don't really know what it is. Maybe an EKG. But that same EKG, I want to say, forgive me if I'm wrong, can pick up the signal from an individual's heart from like 150 feet away. So that's real. Like that's science. That's not me just making woo woo shit up. Definitely go check that out. Boom. Jesse says, I haven't really had those recently and literally can't remember anything, but I do have some special place for butterflies in my heart, and I saw one today which which really made you cry. Uh yeah, butterflies are special, man. It's not often you get to see them. I see them all the time when I'm up there. Um like walking to the workout area, there's always like dozens of them for some reason. I think it's because it's by the river and they don't cut down like the. All I have to say, I love that you love butterflies. Butterflies symbolize metamorphosis. They symbolize uh, what's the other thing? Like just change, I guess you want to say. There was one of the illest sayings that I've ever heard was uh, to to the caterpillar it's death, but to the butterfly it's life. I butchered that. I butchered that. But it's a dope saying. It's something about what the caterpillar calls death, the butterfly calls life. Something like that. Uh-huh. And it was a monarch. Yeah, I love monarchs. What color was the monarch? I wonder. I see a lot of yellow and black ones these days. Give, live, love. Thank you for coming through. Appreciate you. You said, "Oh, I just recorded a hummingbird on my porch. I think he likes the nectar in my flowers. He's been dropping by almost it. Yeah, it must be hummingbird season. You know, hummingbirds like travel all the way to like Central, maybe South America. Like their migration path is crazy. They be putting in work for such little tiny. If you see a hummingbird, they be like this big. They be like that tiny." And you hear them way before you see them. You hear zzz, zzz. You be like, that's a hummingbird. S has said something to do with destiny. I had a huge moment of destiny after I bought a studio in New York City. I went to the library to get a card. Now that I have NYC address, took out a book of my favorite author. I believe you're probably gonna continue that. Jesse says, I like to say they are winks from God. For real, winks from God. That's a perfect antidote right there. As has continues, 53 pages in, the author mentioned a character walking by his old building, gave the name of the building. It was my building out of all the buildings. That is crazy right there. That's what I'm talking about. That type of stuff, it's like, you want to call it weird, but it's weird doesn't even give the phenomenon of what that was justice. Derek Warren says, cool. As has it happened the day after I bought the studio, still gives me chills. For real. If I wasn't so tired right now, I'd probably have chills right now too, because especially literary moments, that's kind of how you really know there's something strange going on. If you're ever in a bookstore or a library, I want you to be completely open. When you walk into the building, be completely open with your energy and just walk around. Don't give yourself a time limit or anything. Just walk around. And when a book really calls your name or just calls your name, like it doesn't have to really be a call, but like just calls your name and you look at it and you go, whatever. Like there's going to be a pause there and you're going to feel your arm and your hand and your wrist feel like it's going to reach out. You're going to reach out, grab that book, and I want you to just flip it open to any random page. And, during this exercise, take note of what that random page tells you. 9 out of 10 times for me, I always get exactly what I need. Try it. Don't knock until you try it. Jesse said, I used to have a ton of them in my yard, and when a few of my loved ones passed, I really feel them near when butterflies are around. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, you got one tatted. That's deep. That's how you know you love the hummingbirds. For real, for real. I want to make this tripod a little bit lower, but we're gonna leave it. What's up, Ray Bay? What's up? What's up? I like that one, Derek. That's not quite the one about the caterpillar, but that's a great rendition. That's a great alternate. What is normal for the spider is chaos to the fly. Let's do it. That's a great one right there. Hey, Miss Jones. We love Miss Jones out here, boy. She finally caught up. Love it when you tap in, Miss Jones. Electric Lady, notes. Thank you for calling him out. Finally caught alive. Yes, you have. Today it's a little later because I went out to this impromptu call that I got from a job. They told me that I wasn't supposed to start till next week, but somebody quit this morning, and therefore I got the call. I was like, man, what a foot to start off on. And I won't forget, I'm going to talk about my shift today. I mean, I guess I kind of talked about it. The most startling thing was seeing how dirty it was. I was trying to come up with a better word, but it was just dirty. It was like shit. Stuff that could be cleaned was not clean. And stuff that I admit takes, like, you got to set out a day to deep clean the vents in the ceiling. But if I had a restaurant, you would never see dust in the vents of the ceiling. Whenever I go anywhere, I always look at the vents. If there's dust in the vents, I know people don't care about this institution or location or brick and mortar, whatever you want to call it. I don't do dust in the vents, bro. I don't do it. No. Hard no. Yes, it's a food place. Yeah, I work in the food industry. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. But I'm just grateful that I have some employment so I can bring in finance a little bit faster than what I was. It's just a stepping stool. I'm not trying to, retire from this place at all. I have multiple streams of income at the moment, regardless of what you hear on the internet. But what's another one? Always could use another one, especially something like most of the stuff that I have right now is like, it's my entrepreneur endeavor. So the money isn't always consistent. But when you go get yourself a 9 to 5, you can pretty much count on the money being consistent. As long as they put your ass on the schedule, and I'm doing everything I can to remain on the schedule. Shout out to all 27 people in the